with us about the private equity deal that she was working on for AT&T, like in their international expansion from the US to Mexico. So we were getting to learn like things behind the scenes that only executives at AT&T knew. So the business, I would say the business school you go to really has like a huge impact on what you're going to learn, because what you're paying for with your tuition isn't a degree, it's access to the people working on the biggest problems. So I hate when like there's these cheap online schools that are like, oh, you can get your MBA for $10. And it's like, you are not getting an MBA for $10. You're getting a shitty piece of paper for $10. Sorry, we curse on this.
That was Adi Soozin. She's a fifth-generation real estate investor, managing partner at the Heritage Real Estate Fund, and a record-breaking marketer who has built and scaled companies around the world. Adi became a best-selling author 20 days after releasing her 400-page marketing playbook, managed an entire Apple sales channel as the youngest marketer ever, and even broke a sales record once held by Steve Jobs, doubling Apple channel sales without increasing the budget. She's grown a fashion brand by 4,200% in 9 weeks and took a luxury real estate company from $0 to $108 million in under 5 years. She's brilliant, bold, and one of the most strategic minds in business and marketing today. So welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with your host, Lopez. So like and share the show. Now let's get started.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is sponsored by FindFlightsAndHotels.com. Looking for the perfect summer vacation destination for you and your family? FindFlightsAndHotels.com has got you covered. From tropical beaches to cultural adventures, our brand new travel website is your one-stop shop for booking the unforgettable family vacation you've been dreaming of. Discover amazing deals, top-rated accommodations, and unbeatable flight options, all in one place. Say goodbye to stress and hello to endless fun in the sun. Don't miss out on creating cherished memories with your loved ones this summer. Visit FindFlightsAndHotels.com now and start planning the getaway of a lifetime.
So, where are you from?
Originally from New York City.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's nice. I've been there many times over the years. So what's it like working at a place like Apple? Because I've always, I just always wonder what it's like working at these, the mega companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google. What was it like working there?
So the thing that's incredible about each of those organizations, because I worked with Apple, I also worked with Boston Consulting Group, their digital ventures branch. There's so much training that you get, and so you level up so quickly because, like, for example, at Apple, I learned so much about marketing. It was just absolutely incredible. They had all these training programs that you could go through. So you would go in and you would start. What I would do is I would go in and I would start with like completing a few of the training programs at the start of each shift, while like my mind was fresh. But it's incredible. Like when people say go work with a Fortune 500 before you work with any small companies, you learn so much. Like I went to business school from there, and I was with actually a bunch of people who had worked with like the top consulting firms. For my children, I'm not going to tell them go work at Apple out of college. I'll tell them to go work with one of the big consulting firms out of college, because then you get to work with so many different companies. But it's amazing. The trainings, the things you learn, and then you get to implement them immediately on the job. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I can imagine, so, okay, so being that you went to Apple, being that you worked with Apple first, when you went to school, was there, I guess, maybe you was in class one day and was the professor teaching something and you'd be like, I don't know about that.
So my undergrad degree was medicinal and biological chemistry. And then I went, so I didn't really like have like a business degree before I went to, or a marketing degree before I went to Apple. My parents both ran their own businesses, and they had multiple companies that they started when I was growing up. So I got to see a lot of like the startup like ecosystem with like new businesses launching and things like that. But I had no formal business school education until I went to business school. And my God, it just, what you learn in an MBA program was incredible. Although I did speak with friends who got their bachelor's degree in business, and they said everything was things that they'd already learned.
Yeah.
So for me, it was amazing because I was there as like this science nerd who went to Apple, a tech company, and then came to like one of the top business schools in the world, and I was just like eyes wide open. And my friends who like had their undergrad in business, they were like, "This is nothing. It's the same thing I learned in undergrad." So I don't know. For me, it was all like amazing, but for other people, it was old hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I asked that. 'Cause some people will say, "Man, I took that MBA. I got my MBA, but it was a total waste of time because they say what they learned, like on the job training, like with a startup and etc., that it was 10 times better than what they could ever learn in the classroom." So that's why I asked that.
It also completely depends on your professors.
Yeah.
Completely. Like one of my professors was literally the lawyer on the private equity deal for AT&T.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we were working in class. She would get to talk with us about the private equity deal that she was working on for AT&T, like in their international expansion from the US to Mexico. So we were getting to learn like things behind the scenes that only executives at AT&T knew. So the business, I would say the business school you go to really has like a huge impact on what you're going to learn, because what you're paying for with your tuition isn't a degree, it's access to the people working on the biggest problems. So I hate when like there's these cheap online schools that are like, "Oh, you can get your MBA for $10. And it's like, you are not getting an MBA for $10. You're getting a shitty piece of paper for $10. Yeah. Sorry, can we curse on this show?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Anything goes here.
Okay. You're getting you're getting a piece of trash paper. That's useless. Your degree is really about the relationships you build, because today, what is it, 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago, I graduated with my undergrad, and about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, I graduated with my MBA. Most of my classmates are now executives at other companies because I paid to go to one of the top schools. So if I need something complicated done, I can call a friend who's an executive at that company who can get it done. So that's the MBA. I would not say get it anywhere. It's not about the education. It's about the network and getting to work on these huge projects with your professors.
Yeah, that's what we call clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed, most people, well, I'm not going to say most people, but I would say a small percentage of people that have worked with Apple, Google, Microsoft, a lot of some of these people have had startups. You know, some of these people have done a lot of different things since, you know, they went out there on their own. So what made you want to do that? What made you want to start your own thing and get out there and explore and expand your horizon?
I had worked for other people that were moving too slowly, and it was frustrating for me. So I started with working for larger companies, and then after I got my MBA, I got to work with a few more startups. And the startups, the growth potential was just so much faster. Like going from taking a startup from idea to 108 million is done so much faster than taking a company like Apple and trying to double their sales throughout an entire state in a foreign country. Because like once you're at the top, there's not a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
So I was talking to one of my friends when we were at business school, because actually this kind of tells you how old I am. When I was at Apple, it was still considered a startup. It was not considered a tech giant like it is today. So that's the funny thing. Like, people are like, you worked at a tech giant. I'm like, well, actually, when I worked there, it was a startup, and not a lot of people in Italy knew about Apple. But so that tells you how long ago it was. So I was at business school, and I was reading this case study with one of my friends who had come from, she had a corporate background, and I had technically, people considered Apple a startup, so I had a startup background. And she was like, yeah, this company grew 10% in a year. And I was like, how are they not dead? She was like, what do you mean, how are they not dead? And I was like, if a startup doesn't grow by a factor of 1,000x in a year, or maybe even a month, it's dead, because it only had $500 in sales last month. It better have 1,500 to 15,000 this month, or it's not going to survive 6 months. So like, I had a completely different expectation for how rapidly companies should grow. And she, coming from the corporate side, was like, wow, 10% growth per year, like, saw that as huge.
Yeah. But it's I could see I could see a comparison between a company like Apple and some of the startups, or even smaller companies, because I've worked for a lot of corporate companies, and they move slow. You got to meet up, you got to have all these meetings. No one wants to make a decision because if it doesn't go well, they don't want to be responsible, and then there's almost no training for anybody, none.
Yeah.
So I can see why, the move that Apple have made, and Google and all these companies, with all the growth that they've made over the past, 10, 20 years, I can see why there would be a lot of training. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the role, how much training they'll have. But I did notice deficits in certain areas. That's why I built my software company, to train marketers. And then I wrote my book, this book. I wrote this one to train a marketer how to go from junior marketer to running an entire marketing department.
Yeah. So what made you want to focus on marketing? Because that's most people, a lot, especially on a lot of stuff, they just outsource. Hey, let an agency take care of it, and let me focus on doing whatever they need to do. So what made you, and they don't even write books. Most people usually be like, hey man, I just call up this company, they take care of everything. And then if I asked them, I said, hey, how many leads did you get last month? How many leads did they get you last month? I don't know. How many phone calls? I don't know. I'm like, well, what do they do? Well, they post 3 times a day, and
I hate that. I hate that. It's my biggest pet peeve. I just went line by line through this one website this morning with the CEO, and I was like, this isn't done. I was like, all of these things need to be done in order for us to get leads coming in and converting. All of these things are broken. Yeah, I hate it. But you know what? In their defense, though, you have to understand so much about human psychology and neurobiology in order to get that right. Like, it is not something that's intuitive. It's
not at all. No.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, what made me decide to write the book? So this is the funny thing. I hated writing. I hated it. Like I'll tell you how much I hated it. When I went to middle school, I would open the syllabus at the start of every year in my new class, and I would calculate exactly what I had to score on all of my homework and all of my tests in order to never have to write a paper. I went all the way from middle school, and you know what I would do for my paper? I'd write like a garbage paper that was 1 page, even though the assignment was a 15-page paper, and I would take the F on that paper, but I'd get an A on the test because it only took a few hours to study for the test, right? But it took like 5 weekends to write the paper. So I hated spending 5 weekends writing a paper when I could just take a few hours to study for the test and get a B and be done. So I went all the way through college. Like my final year of university, one of my professors was talking to a few of the other professors and realized that I'd gone through my entire degree in medicinal and biological chemistry and never written one paper. And so he decided he was not going to give me my grade to graduate until I wrote a paper. And I was like, listen, 12 years of teachers have tried this before you. They have all failed. Just give me the B and let me go. And he was like, okay, fine. So my friends joke that it was like God laughing at me when I later wrote this 457-page book to make up for every single time I never wrote a paper in middle school, high school, or college. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it is today is much easier. It wasn't compared to like, say, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, it was like, most people would try to get a publishing deal, book publishing deal, and
that's what I had.
Yeah. So at least today, now you have options. Now some people would say, well, it's oversaturated. Yeah, okay, it is kind of, but at least you have opportunity to break through.
Everything's oversaturated. Everything is oversaturated. When someone says something's oversaturated, it's because they don't want to find the loophole to win.
Yeah.
Like the software world, oversaturated. I built an international software company. The podcast world, oversaturated. Guess what? You and I both host our own podcast. Do we have an audience? Yes. Because here's the thing. What is it? Alexa, how many people are on the planet?
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the world population on Thursday, February 6, 2025 is approximately 8.1 billion.
Yeah.
By the way,
okay.
We have a new notification.
Alexa, stop. So there's 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
You only need 1,000 people to like you in order for you to have a good podcast. That's it. That's all it takes.
Exactly.
So it's not, oh my God, there are 50,000 different podcasts. It's, I only need 1,000 people who like what I have.
Exactly. That's how I always looked at it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're trying to be a politician or something like that.
Yeah, God bless them.
I mean, I'm not running for office, but I always looked at it like, even when I was working my job, my full-time job, I said, look, if I make $1,000, hey, I'm happy. I'll start right there, right? Because I'm working my job. I'm working 45 hours a week. I'm okay. Extra $1,000. Hey, that's cool, right? But I ended up making more than that. So that was like icing on the cake. But I never looked at it like, hey, this has to blow up. I have to be well known. Not really.
That's the thing. You don't want to be famous with millions of people, because for every 1,000 fans you get, you have at least 3 crazy stalkers.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want millions of fans. Like, you're pretty good. I'm pretty happy with like a few thousand fans. That's good for me. I do what I need to do. I meet my business goals. They invest in the things I do. They buy my software. Like a few, like I'd say the freedom spot is between like 1 and 100,000 fans. Like that's where you have enough enough fans where like you can do cool things. You have influence, you can open doors, you're able to give enough of an experience to your fans and followers that like they benefit. Like when my fans come to different events that I'm speaking at, I tell them all to wear like the same symbol, a lapel pin that matches, so they can find each other to connect, and they know that there's other like real estate people there or startup software people there or top business school people there. Like but when you get to the millions, you have way too many crazy stalkers. So security becomes a risk. There's too many people for you to actually like have a relationship with and like care about. There's too many backgrounds. Like, yeah, the below 100,000 mark, it's freedom. Like you have good people. You have a community that you like you're not diluted with like trying to make a bunch of people from different backgrounds happy. Like what is online marketing secrets? Okay, you have a tight community. They want the secrets. Great. Like my community is real estate people from one of the top business schools. Really easy. They all like the same assets, so I can focus on one thing that makes them happy.
Yeah. I agree. There's some weirdos out here. I've had friends. People showed up at their house.
Yep.
I'm like, what did they say? He said he just wanted to meet me. He was like, what? So did you talk to him? Yeah, he said, I went outside and I talked to him. Did you ask him why he showed up like that? He said he just wanted to meet me. That's all. But why come to your house though? He said I didn't even get into that, man. I just tried to be cool, you know.
Yeah, I let people know. I'm like, look, you can show up at my house, but I probably won't be there because I travel a lot.
Yeah.
What will be there is my 80-pound Belgian Malinois who attacks. Like, so do not show up at the house. There is a giant dog there, and she's not social. She's there with whoever is there. But then the other thing I do is I give my followers my speaking schedule. So as soon as I'm slotted to speak somewhere, most speaking engagements that I do, they ask me to promote it to my following. And then most speaking engagements that I do, my followers want to show up there. So they have an opportunity often to see me in public. Like, for example, I spoke on 4 different panels last week. So there are 4 different opportunities for them to see me at different events in public. So they do get access. But it's always in an event where they have proper security, they have proper vetting. I'm never putting myself at risk. And I think every podcast host does need to take those precautionary measures to protect yourself. Because if you're killed by a raving lunatic, you can't help your followers.
No.
What's your mother going to do if you're killed? Okay, like... You have to protect yourself. You tell them, look, I will be at this marketing conference. Do they have to walk? And all of the marketing conferences, at least in the US, they have to walk through metal detectors. So you're able to meet with your fans in a safe environment. And anyone that's crazy that like wants to like cut you and drink your blood, they can't get in.
Yeah.
They're not getting through security.
Yeah, I mean, that's when when I lived in Atlanta, I used to walk out and people would know who I am. Every once in a while, yeah. But now I live in the country. I don't have to worry about that now. No one knows. No one knows about that. So yeah, you do have to be careful out here.
Georgia's crazy though. Can I just say, as someone who
Oh yeah.
One of my friends was like, "I'm gonna warn you. Everyone carries a gun in Georgia," and I was like, "You're joking?" And he was like, "No, I'm not joking." It was like. And so he handed me one. And it was like, "What do you want me to do with this?" And he was like, "Just make sure people know you have it, and they'll assume you know how to use it." And I was like, "Good God!" Like, okay, noted.
Yeah, it's different. Georgia's a different state. It's different.
It is nice. Oh my God! Did you hear this one? Oh my God! There was you're gonna love this one, being from Georgia, where they have guns everywhere. There was a commander, and he was asking some Russian high-up officers why they never invaded the U.S. And Russia said, we tried. We sat down and we looked at every possible angle to try to invade the U.S. And there was one thing we could never solve for. He said, what was that? And he said, your citizens have more guns than our armies.
Yeah.
And most of them are unregistered. So even when we tried to bribe politicians in the U.S. to force registration of guns, it was never successful. Therefore, we could never have an accurate count to assess the risk because your citizens are more well equipped than our armies going in there ever would be.
Yeah.
So as much as we make fun of like the whole gun culture in like Georgia, Alabama, and Texas, it's also one of the reasons our country's never been invaded.
Yeah. So I guess with your marketing skills, I mean, you can promote anything.
That's what I loved about marketing. I noticed when I was a child, there were some very so my parents were like industry titans. They're very prominent. They've achieved a lot. And I noticed that there were some people that were very unethical that they were friends with. Mm-hmm. And it was like, why do we have to tolerate those people? And it was unfortunate that these people, like my parents would have to like politically play nice with them at key events. And I didn't understand why. And they said they have the attention and the respect of these people, and we need to collaborate with them to close these business deals. And then as I got older, what I learned was they were marketing manipulators. So they knew how to be one person to the public and to control public perception. And then they were a completely different, grossly unethical person behind the scenes. So, yeah. And so I realized marketing is freedom. And either I learn marketing to protect myself or other people learn it and they can destroy me.
Yeah. I'm a lot of entertainers are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like that. Big
Yeah.
time, man.
I was with a friend at dinner the other day, and she's like, "There's something seriously wrong with this woman." She was talking about a celebrity's wife, and I was like, "Obviously, she chose to marry a celebrity, so clearly there's something wrong with her." And she just started laughing so hard, and I was like,
Yeah. Because I knew a lot of. I worked around the music business.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot of people that were, attached to these people, worked for these people. And a lot of them told me, man, he don't really act like that in person. Behind the scenes, he's totally different. So, so it's that those people exist, But I mean, how did real estate come about? Was that passed down or?
Yeah, my family's been in real estate since 1904.
Okay.
So when my great-great-grandmother came to the U.S., she was a Russian Jew. Mm-hmm. And they weren't allowing Jews in the country.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So she pretended that she was Irish, and she learned to fake an Irish accent.
Okay.
And so, but she spoke 7 languages because Jews at the time moved around and spoke 7 languages. So she moved into the when she got off the boat in Ellis Island, or wherever it was, they put her in the Irish ghetto with all the Irish people. So there she is, this Russian Jew with all the Irish Catholics trying to blend. And she learned to fake the Irish accent, and then she sent her Jewish children, to the Irish school. She opened a general store. And people told her, they would come by and they would say, "Women are not allowed to run business." And she would say, "Thank you so much, but I have a business to run." And so when you were like, "Oh, people tell me a market is saturated," I'm like, "Don't listen. Who cares?" So so what she did is she would distract them. She'd say, "Do you need any documents translated? If you buy anything in the store, I'll translate whatever document you need." And so then she got this entire client base by translating documents for people from 7 languages into English. And then she ended up with 3 general stores and 13 houses. And then when each of her children grew up, she would give them a house as a wedding present. So that's how we got started in real estate. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So man, you even got into training, coaching. What made you go there? Because some people be like, "Look, I'm marketing for myself. I don't really want to teach anybody." I know. I was like that for a long time. I didn't really want to teach anybody anything because, in the beginning, people used to say, "Man, they used to come to my house at the time. I had an apartment. They used to say, they used to see some of my books and be, oh, you got the marketing internet books. You're a scammer." I'm like, whatever, man. So that kind of made me a little bitter. And I was like, you know what? I'm not teaching nobody anything. I don't care. I just do my own thing.
Yeah. So what I with the software that I created to train junior marketers and the book that I wrote to also train junior marketers, one thing I was hoping to do is to correct the narrative around marketers being scammers. Because when marketing is used to find people that want a specific solution and to connect them with that solution, marketing is a very noble thing. And so is sales, because you're supposed to be finding people who want this specific thing and just connecting them to it. And that's it. But when people think that marketing and sales are supposed to be these things where you force someone to buy something and you lie and do whatever and say and do whatever you need to in order to close the sale, that's when it's a scam. So with the material that I created to train junior marketers, I was hoping to help them find to learn the right way to use marketing for good before they're corrupted by people who use it for evil. But I would say that's the same for anything anywhere around the world. Like PR can be used for good or evil. Money can be used for good or evil. A brick could be used for good or evil. Needles could be used for saving someone's life or killing them with drugs. Like everything has the capacity to be used for good or evil. It depends on who's in the hand of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So, you've been around long enough to see the whole landscape of the workplace changed, the internet changed. Do you think today it's much easier to get started business-wise versus 20, 30 years ago?
Yes, because we have ChatGPT and it's never been easier to learn new information. Like, I get asked to go on all these different panels for speaking engagements, and like a few days before the panel, I go to Gemini and I say, give me the 5 most recent videos by domain experts on these topics. And I'm able to see what each person is talking about quickly and internalize it, because I can play those videos on repeat in the background, like as in the gym or running errands or things like that. And then I'm able to go on stage and speak in an informed way, where initially I would have just been citing what I know from my own experience. But now, instead of spending like hours on YouTube trying to find the right videos, I have Gemini pick everything for me, prep me, and it's like a publicist, a junior publicist. Like what I think with AI now, most people get it wrong because they treat it like a senior advisor, and it's not. It's not. It is your college intern.
Yeah.
So if you take it as a college intern who's trying to be helpful but doesn't always have the right information, you will love AI. But if you think it's going to replace your chief marketing officer, who's supposed to know the difference between shit that was made up and things that are real, it's not. If you think it could be your general counsel that's leading your law firm, you're screwed. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's not replacing executives. It's replacing the dumb talent that was just wasting time and money at your company anyways.
Exactly. I always say, if you're mediocre, you're probably gonna get replaced. Yeah, that's what I always say. Yeah, but you're right. You can find out, information today within 5 to 10 minutes that would take you 2 weeks.
I know.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that AI and all this software is going to replace us and take over one day. I'm like, I said, you do realize someone has to program this stuff, right? Yeah, but even the person that's programming it, they might leave it alone for too long, and they'll just start thinking on their own. What? No.
Yeah. No. Okay. Do you remember when we used to have to use candles to see at night?
Oh yeah.
And now we have light bulbs.
Yep.
Did that destroy the candle maker's life?
No, people still buy it today.
People still buy candles. Remember when we replaced horses with cars?
Yeah.
Less people need horseshoes today, but it didn't end society. It just changed one business to, you had to be the best person making horseshoes because everyone else was switching to cars now. We had to look at this case study when I was at business school, and they found that every time innovation comes out that replaces a certain occupation, unemployment spikes for about, 8 to 10 months. But all of those people are fully employed and in better jobs where they have less unhealthy practices within 4 years. So think about those people that are doing those crazy jobs right now where they're having to work 12 to 18-hour days. At some point, those jobs are going to be automated, and those people are going to be in jobs where they're working 6 to 8 hour days, and they have more time for their family and more time for health.
Yeah.
And people don't see that because they're fear driven.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, but eventually it's going to happen anyway. Well, look, people will adapt. People always adapt. That's just how it is. You adapt whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
That's how it is, People, that's usually how it go. Really,
It's either forced adaptation or forced adaptation or or consensual adaptation. But you adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a hurricane. You should probably evacuate.
Yeah. Yeah. But I grew up in hurricanes. I'm from South Carolina, so I grew up in that. Yeah.
Yeah, we have them in Florida. I love Greenville Greenville,
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Well, now it is. Yeah, it's totally different now.
Yeah, my cousin moved there after they went through their urban renewal and they like renovated the whole downtown. My
Mhm.
God, it's a hidden gem. You have the mountains, you have bike trails. It's far enough up in the mountains that you don't have alligators or hurricanes, but it's far enough south that you don't have like too much crazy snow. It's literally like heaven on earth.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
And people in South Carolina are so nice compared to New York.
people are mean up there.
No one smiles where I'm from, and I like stopped because I was driving through South Carolina, so I went to see my cousin, and like the people smiled at me at the gas station. And I was like, "This is weird," and she was like, "You're in South Carolina. This is normal."
They say hello.
Yeah, I was like, they greeted me and asked how I'm doing, and then the woman in front of me actually answered. She didn't just stare at them.
Yeah. So I guess in a perfect world, who would be your ideal client today?
For what?
Marketing, training.
So most of that is actually like, so I built those businesses and they're now run by other people, and I'm like all in on real estate. I'm really into right now grocery anchored retail. So what I think is there's been like a total like destruction of the family unit in the United States. Like you no longer have 3 to 4 generations all living in the same town. And because of that, there's a lot of weight and responsibility put on whichever generation is raising the youngest generation.
That's true.
So something I'm like really, really into right now is these, you know, the strip malls where you have like the grocery store, but then you also have like a kids tutoring center, a kids play area, the hair salon, the nail salon, like all of these things. So working parents don't have to sacrifice their career or healthy eating or fitness. Like we have we have actually a few amazing ones around here where you can literally drop your kids off for tutoring, and then you can run into the grocery store, or you can run to get your nails done, or you can run to get your hair done. Like you can do it all. You can be the parent who does it all, which is really what's needed nowadays with the fragmentation of the human structure, the family structure that we used to have here.
So you're like a developer. You're focused on those type of areas.
Yeah, not so much developing them as finding those that are existing and then just swapping out the tenants with tenants that support the family ecosystem.
Okay, gotcha.
It's also beneficial for investors. It's all because the experiential businesses are the only ones that are resilient to e-commerce.
So what areas you focus on across the country, or it doesn't matter?
We like red states on the southern half of the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, because they tend to have better laws that are more that make it easier for those investing in real estate to do so responsibly, not only for the tenants but also for the investors.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
In blue states, they tax you so highly, and they have these laws that they make it so it's either you're not doing the best you can for your investors, or you're not doing the best you can for your tenants. And in the red states, you don't have to choose who you're making have a win-win structure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. In the blue states and blue cities, they make it very difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no perfect answer, but there has to be a better answer. I don't know. You usually, when you let money flow freely, you notice that everyone ends up with more. But when you try to put more into the pocket of the government, they claim it's going to be equally distributed among the population, and it never has been. Not in 5,000 years.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it work out that way. Yeah. So if people wanted to follow you online, work with you in some capacity, where would they go to?
So the best thing I have right now for people who are like, hey, can I get a slice of Adi's good luck, is marketers. I have something called the Proven Path to Profit on Molo9 and the Startup Toolkit. What my people who are using my software and seeing the most money are marketers who take startups. They make a startup book club. They take those startups through the Startup Toolkit, because there are a lot of complicated tasks in there. And so I have a proven path to profit that walks you through how to take a startup idea and grow it to a $10,000 business. Most of the people that have used that playbook, their business has gone to $65,000, $21,500, $65,000. One went to $13 million. So marketers take their startups through that, and then there are different marketing tasks in there where the startup founder will say, hey, you're in charge of this book club. I don't know how to build this. And then the marketer says, oh, my marketing agency will take care of it for you. Just $900, here's the invoice. And then they're like, okay. So then they start going through a few other things. And they're like, hey, it says I need to build a lead magnet. I don't know how to do that. You're like, oh, my marketing agency will take care of it for you. Here you go. Here's a $2,500 invoice. But it makes the whole marketing ecosystem and process a win for both parties.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
right?
like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we are out. Peace.